In this video, I'm going to review how you're going to be seeing some of these fraction multiplication problems and kind of what the word problems look like, because that's where it gets really tricky. I showed you guys last week a whole bunch of different ways to do it, and I think a lot of y'all saw it was pretty easy, but the tricky ones are the word problems. So if you have a word problem that gives you a scenario and they say there's 24 kids in Miss Browning's class, and let's say we have 3/4 of them have a dog. So you have to figure out this piece right here in a lot of these questions, and the question will say, how many do not have a dog? And this is where it gets tricky, because a lot of kids are thinking, oh, I'm multiplying, so I'm going to do 3/4 times 24 and just figure it out. But that's how many have a dog. We want to figure out the ones do not have a dog. So be really careful on those. So first of all, you have to figure out what goes in this box. Well, we know 3/4 is here, and the whole class is 4/4. 3/4 plus 1/4 is 4/4, and that's going to represent the whole. So that's one way to look at it. So then we're going to figure out what's 1/4 of 24 kids. This part of a group happens a whole lot. Part of a group is very popular question format. And I mean something that you actually do in real life. So if you're trying to figure out 1/4 of 24, remember I said 1/4 of 24 is the same as 1/4 times 24. We can set it up like this, put his fraction pants on, and then it's just simple multiplication and division. 1 times 24 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4. Then we go out for some ice cream and divide. 24 divided by 4 is 6, and I'm done. So how many do not have a dog? It would be 6 students. And there's a lot of questions like this. So just if you draw it out this way, that might be able to help you figure it out. Just remember, if they give you a fractional part, like 4/5, your missing part would be the 1/5, or 1/3, your missing part is the 2/3. So being able to create a whole with the fractions is really important. Some of these are just going to have really simple pictures. And this is as basic as it can get. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. Now I'm telling you right now, when we divide fractions, this is a division model. If something is shaded, then we're in multiplication land. This model shows 1/2 3 times. This just is 1/2 times 3. I could do 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 and get my answer of 1.5. I can look at these pieces and rearrange them and take one off of here and put it over here, and I can see I have 1 whole and 1/2 after I do that. So there's lots of different ways to look at this, but a lot of times this will say something like, I have 3 bags with 1/2 pound of gummy bears. And then it will say, how much total gummy bears do I have in all 3 bags? Something like that. So you're combining all the 1/2s together to figure out what your total amount is. And these come up quite a bit. So parts of a group, looking at individual 1/2s and combining them together. This combining, again, I think is the easier one because you're just looking at the total amount. One of the trickier models we work with are number lines, and these are going to freak you out a little bit, but it's going to be okay. So let's say I've got a number line that looks like this. Sometimes they give you the fractions underneath, sometimes they don't. I like to set my whole numbers apart so they don't get muddied up with the fractions. So if I look at this number line, I can see that this is separated into 1, 2, 3 sections. These are thirds. This is 1/3, this is 2/3. 1 whole is 3/3. This would be 1 1/3. This would be 1 2/3. And then so on. So sometimes these pictures come up. And it will show you something like this. And say, what does this model show? Well, that looks really weird to most people that look at it for the first time, but look at this first fraction right here. I jumped 1/3. I jumped 1/3 again. I jumped 1/3 again. This is just 1/3 all the way down. So every time I hop 1 over, I'm just doing 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. How many times did I do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. This shows 1/3 times 5. And this is another way you'll see them represented. The parts of a group one that looks like this, these are the trickier ones. Okay, so I just made a 3 by 6 array. Well, you guys know 3 times 6 is easy, right? So I've got 18 boxes here. But what these models are going to do is they're going to circle a section, and they're going to want you to represent what this part of the group is. And I did this the other day, but if you just visualize, okay, I'm going to split this into equal sections. What is this part of the group? This shows 1/3 of 18. 1/3 of 18 is the same as 1/3 times 18. And my magic number is what's in the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's my answer. My answer would be 6. So again, this is part of a group. And kind of a tricky model, but don't panic when you see it. The answer is what they circle in the box. Like the number inside is the answer. So sometimes if you know what the answer is, you can kind of put together, oh yeah, I know 18 and 6